Hi, I'm Plami, and in this episode of Radio I'm gonna be reacting to one of you guys' favorite K-pop groups, and one that I also really like a lot, that being Astro's recent comeback After Midnight. Now, for me, Astro has been somewhat underrated by me of a group, but their music has always still been consistently good and consistently entertaining, which on certain side, looked at from a certain point of view, has also been a little bit of a detriment to why I don't like them as much, because as good as a lot of their music, I would say most of their music is, it also tends to be a little samey and not really distinct from one another. So as much as their songs always seem to be above a certain level of quality, they also don't really stand out from each other. And for me personally, I find uniqueness more important than quality, at least to a certain extent. Like, I feel like I would value a more unique song more than a higher quality song, especially if that more unique song appeals to me. And I'm getting a little sidetracked here, but I'm just kind of trying to get you to understand my point of view of Astro. But their title tracks have pretty much always been flipping amazing, so I'm really curious to see where they're going to go with this release, especially because their last release won. The thing that I'm pretty sure I said about that release is, like, it felt like the next step in the evolution of Astro's music. And I'm really curious where they're going to go now. Are they going to evolve yet again? Are they going to do something similar? Are they going to do something more Astro-like? Because one definitely felt more like it was leaning towards the typical style for Gen 4 K-pop boy groups, with like hard-hitting and rap-heavy song. And I think another thing that I said about that song when I reacted to it, which you can check out on my channel, and I've reacted to a lot of Astro, a lot of their albums actually. I have to get back into doing that again. But one thing that I said about their previous release one was that as good as it is, and as much as it appeals to me, I still kind of prefer the more Astro-like songs because they're more distinct. And as somebody who is a multi-fandom kind of K-pop stan, I would listen to any group, honestly. I stan a lot of groups, but I also listen to even more groups, even without standing them. So even if Astro are not like my top 5 boy groups, I still listen to them and I still really enjoy them. And even if their sound, the distinct Astro sound, is again not the top of the food chain for me, I still like it. So in a way, as good as One was, and as much as I love that song based on my tastes, I still kind of prefer the more distinct Astro songs over it in a way. So I'm kind of halfway hoping that this song is going to be leaning more into that kind of Astro music, but if it's more like One, that's also fine as well. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the song and find out in 3, 2, 1. Okay, it does seem like it's gonna be leaning more into typical Astro stuff, which I'm okay with actually. Although I really hope it doesn't go into a retro sound, because I'm so tired of the retro sound at this point. I really like these outfits here. Man, Rocky has changed so much. I really like his look though. I'm kind of going for a similar haircut, although the back of my hair is not as long as his. I'm sorry I'm not really talking about this, but right now I don't really have much to say about this song. There are some things that I want to say, but I don't want to overshadow the song at the moment. Ooh, this part here I actually really like. Some part of the song don't really work for me, and I'm gonna talk about why in a sec once the song is done, but this part here I actually really liked. Okay, so maybe it's just me being burned by BTS, but I'm just so tired by the retro sounding K-pop. And it also, to a certain extent, really pisses me off to hear songs in a retro style for some reason. At least this year is what I'll say, because other songs that have had retro influences, like Wanna Says Black Mirror, I hated the song when I reacted to it, but I've honestly listened to it a lot and I've flipping loved it now. But because of BTS's dumb way of doing retro songs, I've been kind of burnt, so I really tend to hate these kind of retro songs. And sadly, to a certain extent, that hate does bleed through in this song. So I kind of have to eat my own words in regards to thinking that I would have preferred this over something like One that I said in the beginning. I disagree with that statement now, because I think I would have enjoyed something like One more. But I guess when I said that in the beginning of the video, I was imagining some kind of a comeback that is more akin to Blue Flame, which I think I reacted to. I think the last video in which I reacted to ASTRO was me reacting to that whole album, but maybe I'm wrong. But it is in my playlist, which means that I've reacted to it at some point, so I don't know. Maybe I've reacted to the song, not to the B-sides. I don't know. Check it out, look it up on my channel. But yeah, I was imagining some kind of a good song in akin to Blue Flame, and this one is really not like that. And honestly, I think the song is still perfectly fine. I think it's gonna be enjoyable. I think it's just ultimately up to personal preferences with the concept that they're going for with this comeback. I just don't like the retro stuff. I'm sorry. For one reason or another, I just don't like it. There are ways to make it work for me, but I just don't like it. I don't think it's on ASTRO at all. I think they do it really well, but it's completely my fault why I don't like it. It's completely up to me. So please don't dislike this video just because I don't like the concept. And we're still gonna react to it the second time, so maybe I'll enjoy it more on the second time, but yeah, that's kinda how I feel about this. And yeah, I can definitely say that I would have preferred something akin to One over this. Because this just doesn't work for me, you know? But yeah, let's get into it one more time, and maybe I'll like it more in 3, 2, 1. It's like they're singing and their rapping works fine. It's just the retro influences that doesn't work for me. Also, for some reason, this video is really making how grown up they are stand out. Like with something like the last comeback, I honestly wouldn't have, if I didn't know anything about them, I wouldn't have realized that they were like a 3rd gen group and not a 4th gen group. They look just as young as any of the youngsters nowadays. But for some reason, this more youthful look in this music video making them look older. Funnily enough, I think I've said a couple of times that I feel like sometimes the rapping in Astro songs doesn't really fit with the songs, and that in some ways I think the songs would have felt more complete if there wasn't rapping in them. But in this one, I honestly saw it. I'm really glad that there's rapping, because that's the saving part of this song for me. Again, it's not a bad song. It's not Astro's fault that I don't like it, but I just don't like it. I don't like the music video though. Their outfits really work for them. Okay, the chorus is definitely starting to grow on me a little bit. Man, I wish this was the chorus of this song actually, because I like this so much more. I just think the reason why this song rubs me the wrong way is just because it reminds me of BTS's Dynamite, and I fucking hate that song. I hate it so much. Like, one of the reasons why I didn't react to that song, in addition to Big Hit, or nowadays should I say Hype, is very annoying with their copyright with Big Hit for some dumb reason, with BTS for some dumb reason. And also because I hated the song, and I don't really want to do reactions just to hate on a song. But I just hated it. And nowadays I just hate anything that reminds me of that song, which sadly this song does. And again, I'm gonna state this again, so please don't dislike this video just because I don't love this song. It's not Astro's fault. They did everything amazingly. It's just my personal feelings and my personal biases that work against this song. In terms of a rating for this song, I think I'm going to give it like an 8.8 out of 10, which again, listen, hear me out, it's a little bit of a lower score than maybe some of you would agree with, but I would say that I feel like even if you like this song, like, Astro has definitely had better song than this one. Even if you like this, I feel like there could be more impactful song, both in terms of rapping, singing, emotion, and for lyrics I can't really say because I didn't know the lyrics of this song. But I feel like if it has more impactful in terms, if it's more impactful in terms of emotion, it's probably more impactful in terms of the lyrics as well. So yeah, I don't know. That's how I'm gonna go with this song. But maybe the B-sides are gonna be better. So if you want me to check out the B-sides sooner, because I'm definitely gonna be reacting to the B-sides because you guys love me reacting to Astro, definitely comment down below in the comments if you want to see the reaction sooner, or maybe if you definitely want to see it as soon as possible, go to my Patreon and subscribe at the specific tier for K-pop reactions, with which you can demand me to do the reaction as soon as possible, which means essentially next time I sit down to do K-pop reactions, because I tend to rotate the type of videos that I do. I'll do a bunch of K-pop videos, then I'll do a bunch of gaming videos, then I'll do a bunch of cartoon reactions, then I'll do a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh videos, and yada yada yada, and then I come back to the K-pop reactions. So by the next time I do K-pop reactions, if you have demanded me to do a reaction to this album through my Patreon, I will do that. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. As I said, I'm almost definitely gonna do a reaction to the B-sides of this album, because not only do the videos get a lot of views, I enjoy reacting to Astro's B-sides, and you guys love it too, so there's literally no downside to it. It's just that right now, I'm kind of busy with work, real life work, and I just don't really have the time to do any type of videos that much, and I don't know exactly going forward how much time I will have, because I still have at least a week of work left, and then I have a bunch of things that I have to do, a bunch of travels that I have to do, so I don't know exactly when I'm gonna do videos again. I don't really know my schedule going forward, so it might take me a few more weeks to get to it, but I will do it. Before we end this video though, I also want to say a huge shout out to my first ever patron on Patreon, Omari Bridgman. As I just said, if you want to join that person over on my Patreon, you can do that by going down in the description and clicking on the link to my Patreon. But before we end this video, I just want to quickly explain to you something that you might be wondering about, like, why am I dressed the way I am? Why do I look the way I do? And if you've been subscribed to my channel for a long time, you would know the answer already, because back when I started my YouTube channel, I had super long hair and I was dressing femininely in every single video. But for those of you who don't know, which I assume it's most of you, I'm actually transgender. I think I'm more of a non-binary rather than a male to female, because there are quite a few times where I don't really feel like dressing femininely and looking feminine and looking like a girl, and I just want to look like a normal guy. But I feel like in a lot of the time I do want to look feminine. So for the sake of simplicity, I decided to just settle on non-binary, although I definitely really want to be much more feminine than I am right now, like almost like androgynous. But due to my current situation, I'm unable to transition, because I still live with my parents. I tried to transition secretly while still living with my parents, but they started noticing that I was looking more feminine, and that I obviously had my long hair back then, and they were pressuring me to cut it all the time. And even when I was growing it out, they were constantly pressuring me to not grow it out, and now they are pressuring me to not grow it out again. I'm really unable to transition, and there's no really way out of this situation for me, because I can't get a job. I've tried to, but I just can't seem to get any job. And even if I was able to get a job, I wouldn't really be able to transition in my country where I live while working that job, because people here are completely bigoted, and they will harass me, they will bully me, and they probably the employers will probably never even hire me if I actually decided to completely transition. So the only way for me to actually be who I am, who I truly am, is if I actually start being successful with YouTube and start making money off of YouTube, because I don't really have to care about what anybody thinks of me, and I can just be who I want to be and dress however I want and all those stuff. So with all this information and me telling you that I don't want to guilt trip you into helping me out, I don't want to make you feel bad about my situation and wanting to manipulate you into helping me out or boosting the subscribers on my channel or anything like that, I ask you if you're able to help me out by donating to my Patreon or donating to my PayPal, which is for that you will have to get in touch with me in the comments down below to set it up properly, because I haven't really done that, because I assume nobody's really gonna want to do that. But if you're able to do that, I would really appreciate it. But again, this is literally the only way for me out. This is the only way out. So yeah, it's completely up to you. If you can't help me out monetarily, then at the very least I think it would be great if you could help out in other ways, like I said earlier, liking the channel, liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and all those other stuff. But yeah, I'm not trying to guilt trip you, I'm just explaining to you my situation and hoping that you can help me out. But yeah, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like, subscribe. Also, check out the description to my Twitter if you want to follow me over there, and to my Wattpad where I post my stories, because in addition to doing all these videos on my channel, I'm also a writer. And if you enjoy my stories or you simply enjoy my videos, you can head over to Patreon where you can pledge support and help get the channel going and help support me so I can keep writing the stories you enjoy. But if you don't want to do it, that's completely fine. You can still help me out in other ways, like liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and especially sharing this video with somebody who you think might enjoy it. And I think it's pretty much it for this video, so hopefully I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye!